Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity. Today I'm going to be doing a collab with my good friend Alex from OneBeautyAddict here on YouTube. She reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to do this video idea with me? And I was like, yes, let's do it. I have been subscribed to Alex and we chit chat back and forth for a long time. We're both moms, so I feel like we connect on a lot of levels when it comes to being a beauty vlogger on YouTube and being a mother. So she's just a phenomenal YouTuber. If you don't already know her, definitely check her out. I will have her channel as well as her video that we're doing a collab on. I'll have both of those linked down below if you'd like to check them out after you're done with this video. But she wanted to do a type of superlative makeup type of video. I forget exactly what we're titling this, but basically she came up with 8 or 9 different types of superlatives and we are going to answer them in the way of makeup. Now her idea came when Lauren May Beauty did one here on YouTube, but she did beauty brands. We are doing makeup products, and to be more specific, since we both are huge fans, huge lovers of eyeshadow palettes, we're specifically answering these questions with eyeshadow palettes, not just with any makeup product in our collection, with eyeshadow palettes, because eyeshadow palettes is where our heart is when it comes to makeup. We both love palettes, and so yeah, we have a couple questions that she came up with and I'm going to answer them with eyeshadow palettes. So without further ado, let's just hop into it. The first one was Best Smile, the product that makes you smile, and this one was really easy for me because I just finished testing it, but it is the Flower Beauty Suns Blazing palette. This palette, well, I would say packaging wise, it's nothing crazy, like it isn't especially pretty, but the colors in here, every time I did a look with it, I smiled. Maybe it's just because of the yellows and oranges and them just being bright colors that just automatically make you feel happier. I don't know, but something about putting these shadows on my eyes, especially when I use the yellows and the oranges, I would just smile when I finished my look. I just felt like it was so sunshiny, so happy, and just so vibrant. And yeah, something about those oranges and yellows I'm really into right now, especially as we're getting warmer weather outside. I just feel like it matches my mood so well. So yeah, this isn't anything crazy pretty to look at. It definitely doesn't make me smile because of the packaging, but it's still Suns Blazing. Anytime I read that, I just want to smile a little bit because it just makes me think of happy thoughts. So I had to give it to this palette. I did not think long when it came to that superlative. I was just like, yellow, orange, what palette? Yes, Suns Blazing. Next is Likely to Succeed, the product that's new to you but has great potential. Again, another easy one. Since we're talking about new products that is likely to succeed with me, I looked in my everyday makeup drawer where I'm currently testing a bunch of products, and I picked the Midas Cosmetics La Dulce Vida palette. This palette, I did at first impressions. I will link that down below if you want, and I've played with it a couple more times since then, and I am just having so very much fun. I haven't tried all of the shades in here at this point. I still have those purples to try, and I just cannot wait to kind of finish testing this out and get my final thoughts out there. I'm not going to say this is a perfect palette. It definitely still has its cons, but hey, every palette has its pros and its cons, and this one is definitely impressing me. I cannot wait to create a couple more looks and really mix up the colors and see what else I can create out of this, because I've just been having so much fun. I've been so impressed considering it's such a brand new brand and the price is so very affordable. The quality in here just keeps impressing me, and yeah, definitely I have to give it to this one. Next one is Life of the Party, product that is fun. Another easy for me when I'm thinking about a product or a palette that I've just had so much fun every time I pulled it out, it would have to be the Juvia's Place Tribe palette. It is just so pretty, so gorgeous, and so stunning. This row down here, these two shades specifically, you guys know, are my favorite, but everything about this palette, every shade in here is a lot of fun. Yes, this shade right here I feel like is the most normal of the shades in here, like it's the most neutral, everyday type of color, but even that has something special to it. And when you create looks with this, when you mix all of these together, they go so effortlessly. And depending on the colors that you reach for, you can just get such a really interesting combo of colors. And I just had so much fun when I used this the first time, and I haven't brought it back into my collection, but this is definitely like next on the list. I really want to bring this back into my collection for a month and just have some more fun with it because it was such a good palette. I had so much fun with the color combos and it just made me so happy. There's so many greens in here. I love these very neon bold colors, and yeah, it made me happy. Next one is Most Changed Since Freshman Year, product you hate but now love, or vice versa. I will give it to the Menagerie Cosmetics Feral palette. When I first tested this out, I was super disappointed because I couldn't get it to work for me in my eyelids, and also the top color was very boring in my opinion, and I felt like it was just a third of the palette was kind of a waste. But she's since revamped the palette to give 2 more colors to make it much more interesting in my opinion, and I've also been able to figure out what it was that was causing these eyeshadows and not to work for me. So now that I've kind of got those two hurdles out of my way, out of my life, this has redeemed itself completely in my eyes, and I pulled it back out for April's Shop My Stash to play with some more. I cannot wait to dive into the yellow and the greens, this green especially. Like, everything about this is just so pretty, and I had so much fun when I created looks with it. Even the purples and the pinks, I feel like I always kind of ignore them in a palette, but this, I remember the couple looks that I created with those purples and pinks, I thought was a lot of fun. Very vibrant, very unique, and the two additional colors are absolutely beautiful. I love them both, and I just love what that brings to this palette. So yeah, this is definitely a palette that has redeemed itself, and I cannot wait to kind of mix and match and try some more looks with this palette this month and just have fun with a beautiful, gorgeous, stunning palette. Next is most unique, a unique product. So this one was a little tricky because I wasn't sure, you know, where to go with unique packaging, unique layout, but I went with color layout and like the color choices in it. And I chose the Mavie Cosmetics Take Me to Tokyo palette. This palette is very unique in my opinion. Like, when I was creating looks with this, I feel like no matter what combo of colors I did, I was just impressed with how different my eye look looked. I remember doing a look, I think it was the blue and the pink, putting those together. The green was so intense and so vibrant. This red was so vibrant, so neon. I just was very impressed with this palette. Like I said, anytime I put looks together, I just feel like it was very different, and I just feel like overall this color story in this palette is very unique, and it's definitely fun and different, and I feel like totally qualifies when you're talking about a unique product. It's something that is a unique product, I guess it was the question. Most unique in your collection, and I feel like this definitely hits the nail on the head for that one, just because I don't have very many palettes that has a neon green, a neon blue, a neon pink, a hot red. Just these types of tones are so intense. It's a little scary when you first dive into it. Like I said, I can link down below my makeup monthly review where I reviewed this palette, and I include all the different eye looks that I created while testing this out, but I have very fond memories of this palette, and it's definitely a unique color story in my collection. Next one was Cutest Couple, two products that work well together. Now this one was the hardest question for me, or superlative, to answer, because I rarely ever use two palettes to create a look. And maybe it's just because I'm always testing palettes, and I'm someone who likes to only use the one palette to see what potential the palette has by itself to create looks. So I'm always testing new palettes, so I always stick to the one palette. And I'm trying to think back, and it's so rare if I ever do pull for two palettes. So this answer is more of a hypothetical answer because I haven't actually grabbed these and used them together. But when I was testing out the Anastasia Beverly Hills Riviera palette, I remember thinking several times of like, man, this would work so much better and be so much more versatile if I could pull another palette. And every time I thought about like, well, what palette would I want to grab, I always thought of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina palette. Mainly because of the purples and pinks in the Norvina palette that I thought would pair really well and create a lot of more interesting looks with these pinks and purple mattes, like the vibrant colors from this palette. But even then, in addition to that, the soft pinks and whatnot, and even this soul color that's very unique would also pair really well with these more steel colors and the blue and stuff like that. And I just feel like overall this would be a really interesting pairing. While saying that, I do feel like it would also duplicate a lot of things in this palette, like, you know, these more neutral tones would kind of copy the neutral tones in here. But if we're talking just about the pops of colors that jump out to me, I feel like the pinks and purples in here would complement this palette, the Riviera palette, really well. So yeah, this answer is definitely a hypothetical one because I haven't actually tested it, and who knows, there's probably another palette that would go better with the Riviera palette, but that was the answer I came up with. It was definitely tough for me to figure out what palette to put it with because, like I said, I can't remember the last time I used, oh, actually the last time I used two palettes to create a look was when I was testing this and I couldn't get this palette to work, so I had to reach for a different purple. That's literally the last time, and before that I cannot remember a time when I grabbed for two palettes, so I'm definitely not the right person to answer this, but since I'm trying to answer it for the sake of this video, we're gonna go with the Riviera and the Norvina palettes. Alright, so we are almost done. Next is Perfect Attendance, product that never fails to show up to do its job, or show up to do its job. This is easy for me. I picked the NYX Grind, it's Machinist Grind palette. I feel kind of bad mentioning this because I don't think it's available anymore, but I am so very glad that I jumped on this when it initially launched at Ulta because it like came and went so quickly. I could not believe how quickly this had just disappeared from being available at any retailer online, like not even NYX's website kind of thing. I don't know what happened, but this formula is so good. This is a palette that anytime I pulled it to create a look, I was always super impressed with the looks that I caught out and also just the ability to blend so effortlessly. I was always blown away with how easy it was. I feel like I could just almost blindly go in here, grab, you know, two mattes to stick in my crease, grab a shimmer over my lid, and it always looked gorgeous. It always was well blended. It didn't take any effort. I never had any problems with, you know, patchiness, at least that I can remember. I haven't used this since I tested this, so this is going off of memory, but I just remember never having any struggle with this palette. And for me, when I'm thinking of no fail, one you can always depend on, I'm thinking more of like a my comfort zone palette, so more of a my neutral type of palette, and this definitely hits that mark for me. This is kind of like my comfort zone. If I wanted my neutrals, this is a palette I could go to and I would never have to worry about any of the eyeshadow skipping, any of the eyeshadows patching up in areas, not wanting to blend, nothing like that. They last all day so well, so nicely, and yeah, every time I use this, I was always impressed. Okay, so last question is best dress, which interpreting in makeup speak is most beautiful packaging. And this, again, is a very easy one for me because it is the Melt Cosmetics Gemini palette. The packaging on here is so gorgeous. I love these roses. There's something about them that just takes my breath away anytime I look at them. They're so beautiful. I love the black because that's definitely more my aesthetic. I like things that are bright and cheerful, but at the same time, I like more grungy, deeper tones. So the black background with these more orangey, brownish, burntish almost type of roses, they're so beautiful. I just love it. Anytime I look at it, like, it's a very simple palette. It's like super sleek and nothing too crazy about it, but I just love the black packaging with the orange roses on it and the green kind of detail with the leaves and the writing. It's just so beautiful. And then of course, you guys know I love the Melt Cosmetics palette in general, just for the color story, because it's so very beautiful and those greens are my type of greens. But just talking about packaging, I have to hand it to this because anytime I look at it, I'm always blown away by the beautiful artwork of the palette itself. And this is a palette that kind of sits behind me. Let's see if I can do this. It sits right up there and it's in a clear case so I can easily see the entire palette, and it sits front and center because I like everything about the packaging of this palette and I think it's so beautiful. So it's kind of like my little artwork in the background that I enjoy as I'm going about my day and I pass by my shelf, or if I go to my shelf to pick a palette, I love seeing it there. It's just so very beautiful. So this is easy for me. When I thought of best packaging, had to give it to this. Okay, so there you have it. Those are all the superlatives. I feel like I struggle over saying that word. I try to kind of hurry it so you guys don't notice, but that's a tough word for me to pronounce, superlative. But anyway, those are all of them that I answered. I feel like this is a really short video, a little short and to the point video for me, but I hope it was enjoyable nonetheless, and I feel like the sun is leaving, so I feel like that's perfect timing. Thank you so much to Alex for wanting to do this collab with me. If you have not heard of Alex or have not checked out her channel, please go over and watch her video and check out her other videos and see if you want to subscribe. I highly recommend her. Her content is always so fun and different, and I enjoy that kind of uniqueness that she brings to the beauty community. So definitely go over and check her out and tell her I said hi, tell her you're coming from my channel, and give her a video a thumbs up. And if you're coming over from Alex's channel, thank you so much for checking out my channel, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my picks for this kind of superlative type of video. Again, I'm totally blanking on the title for this video. Maybe we even haven't decided. We're both moms, so we'll probably the night before this goes up be like, hey, what are we titling this? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it nonetheless and you enjoyed hearing my picks, and thank you so much for watching. But anyway, with all that said, sun's coming back. There you go. We can at least be in sunshine while I finish out this video. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.